And we are live on Periscope. I'm going to go on Periscope and share this out. Hey, Brandon, how are you? Good evening. Thank you for coming back in. I'm going to share this out on Periscope. Hey, there. Okay, so there you are. I see you, Kelly.
I got it.
Just I got it. So we're going to share this out. Hey, yes. Hello, Ellie. How are you? Hey, Sharonda. Let me make sure my sound is good. Okay. Hey, Lady Carla. Hello, Janetta. How are you? Hello, hello. Thank you all for coming in. We getting ready to get started. Thank you for sharing this out. Hey, how are you? I hope everybody's doing well. I'm just going to make sure I fix my screen and that we are good. Hey, Kendrin. I'm going to turn you up a little bit, Kelly. There we go. All right. So thank y'all so much for coming in. Hey, how are you? Thank you so much for coming in. So if anyone here is new, hello, hello. There we go. So let me set that. Hey, Felicia, how are you? Hello, AD. So good evening, good evening. Welcome, welcome to the Finding Your Jewels talk show. I thank y'all so much for coming in. Thank you so much for inviting your followers. I really do appreciate it. If you're on Facebook, hey, how are you? Please share this out. I came on earlier and we touched on it a little bit. How sometimes life is interesting to say the least, right? It's like what? But yeah, so today we have Miss Kelli Howard. She is a Christian master life coach and holistic health practitioner. Kelli, one of her passions is to help others find their hope. Good, you do it good, good. She believes that the mind, body, and spirit are all connected, and that we need to focus on all three areas in order to achieve optimal results in life, health, and business. So, overcoming her own life experiences and health challenges gives her a unique perspective and to truly help her understand the struggles of both physical and mental, all the while she's guiding you to become your best you. Hey, Yaz, how are you? Uh, Kelli offers one-on-one coaching as well as group classes, and they also do retreats to help restore the God-given beauty that lies within you to help you reach your full potential. Recently, she partnered. Look, they are talking about that's so true, Kelli. They are talking about yeah, girl. Recently, she has partnered with Greater Works Life Coaching Academy and is now using her expertise to help others become life coaches and build their own profitable coaching business. So, welcome, Kelli. Welcome, welcome. We are so glad to have you on. How are
Thank
you?
you for having me.
How
Thank
are
you.
you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Y'all do me a
Maybe a little
favor.
nervous, but
You
I'm good.
nervous? It's okay. Can y'all hear Kelli good? Let me know. If y'all could give me a one, if y'all can hear Kelli, if I need to turn her up, somebody let me know. I just want to make sure. Oh, thank you, Yaz. How are you, Yaz? If y'all don't know who Yaz is, let me just give a quick shout out. Because Yaz is the one that actually showed me how to do a talk show. So I love Yaz. So make sure y'all are following her. So, yeah. So, Kelli, tell us more about you. Tell us more about you.
Okay, about me. Well, I grew up in Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I am now in Ohio
Oh.
um, by a life experience, but
Mm.
anyway,
Okay.
so here I am. Um, but I grew up in the church actually.
Okay.
I've been to church with my mother my whole
Mm-hmm.
life. But my father was or is an atheist, so he
Hmm.
never believed, and so that was a twist on what went on at home
Wow.
because my mom was very faithful, and my dad always found any moment to ridicule us for going to church. So
Wow.
um, so she was very active. But the good part of that is that he was an over the road truck driver, so a lot of times he wasn't home,
Okay.
um, and so we could so
Got
we
you.
could live our life. then, when he was there, then we kind of had to be different people, sort of. Yeah, you learn. I know I watched your broadcast last week, and I had some really good thoughts about thoughts about my own childhood. What she was saying when she was
Right.
had to be you're two people. You really are. I mean, and and I know that my life is shaped by the things that I went through as a child and the things that came through as in my adulthood as well, as we all have
Yeah.
done. But anyway, as I went through life, I was a believer from a young age, and I think that was one of my saving graces because God knew that I needed to have that faith early,
That's right.
um, and in order to keep my hope, because I really had a rough life,
Wow.
physical abuse from my father, and the mental anguish from him as well for the ridiculing for my faith and my mother's faith and all of that. So it was interesting. Like I
Right.
said, one of the biggest things that I always talk about is that I'm here to offer people hope. And I've been through so much stuff. It'd be hard. We would take a whole program just talking about my life.
Wow.
So it just I've a lot of things, and I can identify, and that's what I try to use those things to identify with other people at so many levels. I could run through some things, just physical abuse, mental abuse, just being poor, very extremely poor. A lot of times not knowing where the next meal was coming from, not knowing if I went home and my lights were going to be on or the water was off, or
Come on
when
now.
they could do
Yeah.
that. And still, you know, um, things like that. And then as I went on, I was a teen mother. I got married at 16. And so I was a teen mom, and I was married to my first husband for 20 years, almost 20 years. Um, and we had 3 children together, 3 wonderful boys. And so that was another change for me, divorce, going through a divorce and being a child of divorce. And because my parents did get divorced when I was 12. Um, and so then I also experienced date rape.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
so,
I'm so
I mean, it's
sorry.
just like so crazy. It's just so crazy, so much stuff.
Wow.
But you know what? All those stories and the people I talk to, I
Yeah.
can use those experiences because I identify with like almost anything that you could go through, really. And and God has kept my hope through all of that. I mean, I do want to talk about there were some dark years because of my Jonah journey. So there were some years where I did walk away, but I really didn't walk away. I just didn't know what to do, and I
Right.
felt like that, God had, not that God abandoned me, but that I didn't know where to go with what had happened, and so, so I
Wow.
just kind of was wayward there, even though I still believed and I still read my Bible, but I didn't attend church, for
Got
a
you.
long time. Um, and so anyway, I don't know where else you wanted me to go with that, but
No, that let me just say something right quick because I know Felicia's listening and they're watching on Facebook.
oh, okay.
So if you just heard some of what Kelli was saying, the things that she's been through, and through abuse and poverty and different things that happened to her, and I think sometimes I thank you for being open and honest because I think sometimes people when we go through life and you have a really like rough life, like you're like stuff is really hard, and you're like, okay, what now? And
Right.
it gets to the point where I think some people feel like when they've been through so much that God can't use them. And they think like, well, first you sometimes you think like, is God even here? Like, like what is like, hello, where are you?
Right.
But then even they feel like they can't be used or they feel like, God is not going to use them. They feel like some people feel like they're not worthy, because they've been through so much. They feel like, well, do I deserve to have a good life? Do I deserve to have the promises that God has given me? And so I thank you for being honest and upfront. And that is a blessing, especially as a life coach, because there are people out here, let me just be real for a whole minute and a half. There are people out here who are quote unquote coaching people and they haven't been through anything. They have no idea. Like lady, lady Cause said, come on now. They have not been through anything. They cannot tell
I
you.
know.
And they make these basic assumptions like these are the things we think about. Right, Felicia. And it's like they haven't seen anything. They haven't been through anything. And they're like, oh, well, just do so and so. And you're like, well, how am I going to do so and so? And I got to feed my kids. I'm trying to find money. My lights is getting rated. And people don't think about it.
Exactly.
Yes, and please say that again. It's so real. It is so real. And you have so many people that have these and I'm not down on education. I'm not down on anything like that. But I think
Yeah.
sometimes you can have people that have certain certifications and certain degrees, and that's wonderful. That means a lot. But when you have hands on, like you have people that even they haven't been through anything. Even when you go to church sometimes, and you have a pastor and maybe they've been to school and they've got several degrees or maybe they're a doctorate, and that's wonderful. But some people are not going to connect with that person. They're going to connect more with that person that was prostituting. They're going to connect more with that person that was on drugs or that's been abused or different things. And we have this thing, and I know it's the enemy. I know the enemy has a lot to do with it, that makes us think that God can't use us. But so no matter what you're going through, hey, is that Michelle? Hey, how are you, anointed souls? How are you? No matter what you're going through, no matter what you've been through, God can use you, and somebody needs you. Somebody
Right.
needs you. Don't think because you've been through all this that you're no good. And sometimes when we go through life and we've been abused or mistreated by people, we also have been verbally abused. A lot of people have. Where people tell you lies about yourself and we start to believe them. So no matter what you've been through, God needs you. God can use you. And somebody else is going to need you, because somebody's going to look at you and say, you know what, you went through that. Well, if she went through that, I could deal with this.
Right.
So tell
Yeah.
us about the Jonah journey.
Okay, the Jonah journey. All right. Well, in 2015, um, my son, I was speaking to my son, who was only 19 at the time, and he's very wise for his years. I just want to say that he's very wise for his years. And I even, when he said this to me, I was like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe you just said that to me, because it took me by surprise. We were having this good conversation, and I was making some transitions in my own life.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were having this thing, and he's getting ready to go to college. And actually, he had finished his first year of college, and he's getting ready to go into his second year. And he was talking about changing his career and all this. But he said, "Mom, you are just like Jonah." And I'm like, "I am not. I am not Jonah. Why did you say that about me? That is terrible." And so, but the more I thought about it, like in the next few days, and I even messaged him later, I'm like, Nathan, you were so right. I'm Jonah. I'm Jonah, And
Mm-hmm.
so um, he pinned it on the head. He just really did. And
Mm-hmm.
see, in 2005, my first marriage ended.
Okay.
And so in those years from 2005 to 2015, I was really trying to figure out where I was going, what I was
Mm-hmm.
doing, and where I was at with all of that. And I just really felt like God, used my marriage to get me out of my bad life that I had at home. And
Okay.
he was he was a Christian man. And even though it kind of started on a weird foot, with a teen pregnancy
Right, right.
and all of that, I just was like, God, okay, I got this, and we
Mm-hmm.
had what I thought was a pretty good marriage. I mean, it wasn't that terrible. A lot of people saw worse. I actually saw worse in my own household when I was growing up. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, we don't have it so bad. We worked at church together, I was Sunday school superintendent and he
Mm-hmm.
was the
Oh, wow.
secretary, attendant.
Okay.
We worked together side by
Right.
side, and so he decided that was not committed to our marriage anymore.
Okay.
So, and long story short, we got a divorce, and
Mm-hmm.
it just broke me. It really broke me, and I didn't know where to go. And
Wow.
so I actually had a mental breakdown, and I tried to kill myself 2 times.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay.
And so I was in the hospital. I was hospitalized for clinical depression.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Got you.
and so I um, really, right at that time when it first, happened and stuff. And then that's how I ended up in Ohio
Okay.
because I couldn't I couldn't deal with what was going on anymore mentally, and I needed to escape. So
Mm-hmm.
here I am in Ohio,
Okay.
and so I spent um, let's see, the first 3 years in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I well, I met my husband first of all, who I'm now married to, and
Okay.
we didn't go to church. He didn't grow up in church, but I was always talking about God and talking about things, and
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And so I just was trying to find a place to go, and I just didn't really feel like I had a place to go to church. Not knowing
Mm-hmm.
anybody here and whatever. Um, and I was at home or with my marriage.
Mm-hmm.
He had isolated me from my kids, so there's another thing. I didn't see my kids for 3 years
Wow.
because he essentially stole them from me, and I um, cried
Wow.
about that many, many times. But
I
then I
can
became
imagine.
pregnant with twins. And I became pregnant with twins, and they were born as preemies, and that took like all my energy
I'm
because
sure.
I had two little babies. I had two little babies that needed me, and I remember being up many nights, and I would think, God, you're refocusing me. You're
Mm-hmm.
refocusing me. You're using these babies to refocus me and give me something new to think about, something, great
Wow.
to go on and whatever. And, even though I wasn't attending church, I knew that God was using these babies to refocus me.
Uh-huh.
Um, and so
Come on now. She said double
then,
joy.
yeah, the double joy.
Come on now.
And so
Mm-hmm.
then, oh, let me think here. I'm talking about, yeah, my Jonah journey. So 10 years, yes. So then I
Wow.
finally found a church to go to. I attended at one church here and there, and I like with my girls, and I just didn't find a home. So
Okay.
I did find a home finally, and that's what Nathan and I were talking about. Was, I really want what God wants for me. And see, I had always sang in church, and music is a gift of mine. And so at 15, I got my first paying gig, whatever you want to call it. And so I thought, okay, God, I'm ready. I'm gung ho, hey, this is great.
Mm-hmm.
And, God's really going to use me and all of that. Well, then guess what? I got pregnant and all that happened. But so,
Right.
yeah, he can be a jokester too, right?
Yes.
So, um,
God is funny.
so I was just like all ready at 15 to do that. And Nathan reminded me, like, you know Mom, I know that God has stuff for you. He has
That's
stuff
right.
for me too. And he had his own journey. But he was just sharing with me that there's all this stuff, and that God was still had a plan for me, and that I needed to go find my Nineveh. That's what he was telling me, go find your Nineveh. And so and so I agreed with him. I agreed with him, and I'm like, Nathan, you were so right. You were just right. And I know that I need to find my place. And so what happened in August 2015 is that I went down to Florida because he was going to school in Florida. I took a road trip, and he needed some things taken to his dorm. It was wasn't a dorm; he's in an apartment, but he needed some things brought down there, and he didn't have another way to get them there. And he's like, "Mom, can you take these things for me?" I'm like, "Okay, fine." So I drive all the way down there, 18 hours,
Good Lord.
and
Ooh.
with this load of stuff,
Ooh.
right? And there were supposed to be people at this apartment. There was not. So I couldn't get in.
Oh gosh.
So he was then supposed to meet me the next day. That didn't happen either. So
Wow.
I spent 2 days on the beach by myself with not very much money, a
Wow.
Bible, and a car. So
Look, I'm
I
like,
spent some time on the beach. Yes,
wow.
God met me on the beach. And that's
Girl.
exactly what happened. And you know, I forgot I have a jar at home and I was going to bring it, but I have a jar at home that has the sand and some shells and water in it from the beach that day. And I just felt that for me, and I've opened that up and I'm like, I can smell that moment. And that's what like brought it back for me is that I kept that. And that's so dear to my heart. I mean, if I don't want anything else from my house, if I ever leave, I'm taking
Right.
that jar. I'm taking
Right.
my
I'm
jar.
like, look, I'm like, wow. Right, Lady
So,
Carla? Oh my
and I
goodness.
didn't bring it. Yeah. And so, but anyway,
Oh my
I,
goodness.
yeah. So I just sat there and I prayed and I thought about what Nathan had said to me just a few days before. And I'm like, okay, God, I'm Jonah. Where's my Nineveh? Where am I going? What are we doing? All this stuff I know. You told me it when I was 8 that you had a plan for me, and I've stuck it out. I've stuck it out. I'm 40 something, and I've still not felt like I did my thing. What is my thing?
Wow.
What do you want from me?
Mm-hmm.
And so I just prayed and read my Bible and sat on the beach, and um, I just had God there, and it was just me and God, and it was an awesome experience. Even though I was sleeping in my car, and all of that,
Wow.
but it was an experience. I'm just telling you,
Yeah.
and everybody needs to do one. I'm just telling you, you need to do it. You need to do
Did
it. You
y'all
just
hear
need
that?
to.
She said she was sleeping in her car, but it was
Yes,
an
yes,
awesome experience because God
yes.
was there. Come on now.
That's right. I know. I said that
So
really.
if somebody is watching this, I see y'all on Facebook. I can't see everybody. So if you are watching this and you like, what? And if you
Well,
like had a look, Carla like, if you had one of those days, you know how sometimes we have those days we be complaining about stuff, like, oh, this ain't working, and my Wi-Fi don't work,
right,
Netflix is dead. You know how we do sometimes. Netflix ain't working.
right,
I went to the store and all the rotisserie chickens were gone. You know how we do. And if
right,
you listen to what Kelly all the things that she's been through, and
right,
10 years, just trying to, she's like, I don't, going here and going there, and God had to set her up, because that's what He does to us. Sometimes He will set you. If you keep running, from God, He's like, I'm gonna get you. Like, I'm gonna get you, because you need to understand that I'm here. And I think sometimes we forget. Let me ask you this: did you ever like get angry with God because things so much was going on?
well, of course, I'm
Okay,
sure. I'm
okay,
I'm sure.
okay.
I think that I always knew in the back of my head that there was a plan, and I just needed to find it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what held me together. It really is what held me together. And I'm still not there. I just know that since that point, since the 2015 and then my beach experience, and really focusing and listening to God, and
Mm-hmm.
just saying, okay, God, I'm ready. I want to do what you want me to do. What is it you want me to do?
Mm-hmm.
And where are we going from here? Where's my next step? What do you want me to do? Who do I need to connect with? Bring me the people that I need to connect with that are going to help me move
Mm-hmm.
forward and help me do what you want me to do. And so from that moment, this was August 2015, I really took, and like every moment I was thinking, okay, what's next? What's next? And what's
Mm-hmm.
next? In 2014, I had started taking my health classes that I'm a certified health practitioner,
Mm-hmm.
which just means I've helped enough people in the health coaching industry that I'm now a practitioner. That's all that means.
Okay.
So it's just one step above being just a health coach.
Okay.
But the reason
That's good.
the reason I went to health coaching was because I had my struggle with my own health. I have irritable bowel syndrome, and I have found that I have gluten. intolerance and stuff. But my daughter, when she was 2, was on the Failure to Thrive list, and she weighed 21 pounds at 2. And so
Oh my goodness.
yeah. And
Oh
so I
wow.
had been trying the last few years before I started my training to help her. And I found some things that were helping, and she started gaining a little bit of weight.
Okay.
But I found the integrative nutrition course. And so I decided, you know what, this will help me and this can help her, and maybe
Right.
I'll learn some things. And so this is in 2014. And so I thought, I'll help her and I'll help me and I'll, help some other people too, maybe. Maybe this is what God wanted. This was before, I had this thing. But so I was still taking the courses with them and still trying to finish that out. But I just knew there was more. There was way more than this health thing. And so then when I came back from my experience, my God experience, I call, um, I really started honing in on what God wanted me to do. So I went to my pastor and I'm like, look, I really think that God wants me to go into ministry. And I'm not sure what it is, but I just know that there's something out there for me. It's something God wants me to do. And there's people that he wants me to reach. And I told him about my Nineveh story, Jonah story.
Right.
And he's like, okay, I can see that. And he knew kind of some of my story from some other times that we talked. And he's like, yeah, Kelly, I can see that, that God is really going to use you. I really believe that he's going to use you. So I started on the ministry team there and started singing in church again. And I hadn't sang in church for 10 years. And so the first time I sang, um, I don't know if you're all familiar with Carrie Job, um, but I sang a song of Carrie Job. And I just trying to think of the title of it, and I can't think of it at the moment. But anyway, um, they I told my story somewhat in the church service too about running from God, and that I was this is the first time I had sang in church in 10 years. And so I was just trying to encourage people with that story. And so I continued there, and just have recently changed churches, and I'm on the music ministry at this church as well. Um, but I just um I'm still actually searching for what I'm doing. But anyway, about my health coaching. So then I started Periscope in 2015. Nathan's pastor was on Periscope, and so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get on Periscope. Well, I didn't even know there was a Periscope. Okay.
I
So
know, right?
I know. And
Yeah.
so he was preaching on Periscope, and I would listen in on his sermons and stuff. And so I'm like, wow, this is really neat. And I just one day I was listening to somebody, um, I believe it was Kimberly Jones, and I
Okay.
thought, oh my stars, this is what God wants me to do. He wants me to speak to people on Periscope. If you look at my Periscope account, you will see that I'm still on my Jonah journey.
Right. But you
because,
know what? Stop
because
right there for 1 minute. I'm
yeah,
gonna
okay,
recap right quick because I just something was going on my Facebook and I apologize. There are people that are in
okay.
Facebook and they've been talking and I haven't been able to see it. So I am so sorry. I am not ignoring y'all. Hello, Cheryl. Hey
Okay.
to Pastor Tawanda, how are you? I'm seeing I'm seeing comments now. I don't know what happened. So I'm just gonna recap really quick because some people came in on Periscope. Hey Rob, hey Sharonda. Thank you all for coming in and sharing. I'm just gonna recap pretty quick, but we have here Kelli Howard. She is a certified life coach, holistic health practitioner, and she is sharing her story of her Jonah journey. Like for 10 years, there were so many things, and she was kind of lost and didn't know what was going on. But she has so many things that happened to her in life that she experienced, and we talked about the power that the fact that she's still going, even though she had times where she felt like, okay, I'm ready to give up. And I think we've all felt like that at times. You're ready to give up, you're like, I'm tired. But the fact that she is still going, and the fact that she knew God was still gonna, use her. And that's what we were talking about. Sometimes we think that life is, we're damaged, or we've been through too much, or we don't have a real purpose. And that is a lie, because like I said, the fact that she is a life coach and that she's been through some things, that is going to be a blessing to those that she is reaching. But one thing that she said that I really like is that she said, well, I'm still not all the way there yet. I'm still not, like, at my quote unquote, like, I guess 100% or whatever, but she's doing what she's supposed to do. And I think sometimes we get mixed up. We say, oh, like I hear people say a lot, well, when I get myself together, and it's like, well, when is that gonna be? Like, how long are you gonna wait? Because I used to say that too. So if you're saying that, and you know that you have a purpose, you know that you have things to do, and you're like, well, now is not a good time. Well, when will there be a time? Like, when will there be a good time? It is time to, if you haven't started, if you know you've got a purpose, and maybe you don't know what the purpose is, or maybe you do know what your purpose is and you've been running from it, and you keep thinking, oh, it's not time yet. Sometimes we like to wait till things are, like, quote unquote perfect. That may never be. That may never come. Like, just being honest, that time may never come. We wait. Sometimes we have excuses. Right, Sharonda, experience is the best teacher. And it's like the fact that she's gone through, and if you came in late, I'll encourage you to watch it from the replay, from the beginning, because I'm going to leave it up. But she talked about, going through abuse as a child, and experiencing different things, and divorce, and date rape, and just a lot. And so it makes you think, like, wow, look at what she's overcome. Hello, DeGreek, how are you? Look at all the things that she's overcome. And she's able to admit, she's not sitting here being phony. How many times have you met somebody, they be like, oh, I got it all together? And you be like, no, you don't. You be like, no, you don't. Like, she's being honest. She's like, well, I'm still working some things out, but she's still living her life. She's still walking in her purpose, and she knows she has people to help. So if you're sitting there and you're thinking that, I've got to wait till things are perfect, or till I am perfect, think again. Don't sit there and, like, prolong, because there are people that need you now. There are people that need you now. So, wow. I forgot what I was going to ask you. Was there, because you said about being the life coach and being a counselor, tell us exactly, because I hear it a lot, what exactly does a life coach do, or what's the difference between, like, a life coach and, like, a counselor?
Okay, well, I can tell you this too.
Mm-hmm.
I am diagnosed as a bipolar,
Okay.
and manic depressive, so I know what a counselor is.
Okay, got it.
And I know what a psychiatrist is.
Okay,
And I know
got
what a
it.
psychologist is, because I have all those things.
Wow.
And
Okay.
they all have a different purpose.
Got you.
Actually, I can say that at this moment I am a non-medicated.
That's great.
And I am, oh my gosh, that took a long time. That's a whole nother story.
Wow.
But from 2005 until 2015. 15 is when I started working out of my medications. But so those 10 years I had taken all this medication. And
Okay.
so anyway, a life coach is somebody who walks alongside of you and is there with you to guide you and help you.
Okay.
And how it's different from being a counselor or, a psychologist or whatever, is that they can actually give you advice or, medical knowledge or whatever about your psyche, I guess you want to say, from a medical knowledge point of view. And it's funny that you were talking about people not identifying with people, yet they're in those fields. And I tell you, I've seen a lot of them.
Yes.
And I walk backwards out the office.
Right.
And so because they don't identify. There's no way, there's nothing they have to identify, because they don't know. They
That's
don't know.
like if
And
you've ever had to go like to social services, like if you've ever had
yeah,
to apply for food stamps or something, and you get a caseworker, they looking at you like, and you're
yeah,
already feeling like some kind of way because
yeah,
you got to go to social services. You don't want to go to social services. Maybe you're embarrassed, or maybe you were on food stamps or Medicaid
right,
before, and you said I'm not going back, and then you got to go back, and they looking at you like, well, what are you gonna do? And you're like,
right.
and because they went to school,
Know about your
they're
experience.
right. You feel bad, and it makes people,
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. Go ahead. That's all I had to say about that. But go ahead. I'm
No, so
listening.
no, you're fine. And so, like, a life coach is there to help you and guide you and just help you because what we believe is that all the answers that you have are within you. And so, what our job is to help you reach down inside and figure out what you want, figure out where you want to go,
Right.
figure out what in my own case is that what God has for you because everything I do is God based. So
Okay.
um my whole thing is okay, let's talk about this. What are your gifts? What do you have? What have you always liked to do? What are the things when people talk to you, they talk about you that's so wonderful or whatever, and try to build on those gifts and talents that God has given you. Even though sometimes our purpose is outside of that gift, because I know a lot of people that have been challenged. You may do something well, but that's not your gift necessarily, or what your purpose is through God. I
Right.
guess is
Right.
still a gift, but it's purpose. And so, anyway, that's our job is to help you figure out where you want to go with certain things. I use a grow model a lot in my coaching. Um, and that is the model that says, what is the goal? What is our focus? What are we doing? Where are we? What's the reality of where we are? And then the O is, what are the obstacles? What are we going to have to work through? What hoops are we going to have to jump over or
Right.
whatever? Um, then and then when are you going to start? So
Okay.
that
Got it.
that is the model that I use, and I love that model. Um, and because it fits more for life, not necessarily for business. I know probably people have heard of SMART goals. And so
Yeah.
you can marry SMART goals with the goal model,
Okay.
with the grow model, and then you have a business model. So that would, you would work hand in hand. But the grow model works a lot for things that you're trying to work through in your life, things that aren't necessarily going the way you want them to go, and just trying to figure out what's next. And so I help a lot of people with that, and that's my thing. One of the
Right.
classes that I teach is overcoming obstacles. How do we get through those obstacles? What does God say about the obstacles that are in front of us? Another class I do, which is kind of built on the same thing, is move that mountain. What are the mountains that are in front of you?
Come on
Where,
now.
what needs to get moved so that you can move on, go
Right.
through,
Right.
get to where God wants you to, what's in the path. And so anyway, what was the question you asked me? I forget. I just,
No, you were answering it. It was about
I think,
the
about your
difference
coaching.
between the coach and the counselor. But again,
So,
I thank you for
yeah,
being transparent because you shared
yeah,
something that you didn't have to share, and so somebody just came
right.
in. I'm sorry I missed you. Hi, how you doing? Somebody came in on Periscope, but you were saying that
Oh, I was
you
talking
were
about coaching and what coaching is.
right, but you
Um,
were talking about, you said you were diagnosed as bipolar,
mhm, right,
and that to me says a lot because you said you're not on any meds now, which is awesome. Have you
right,
ever met somebody that felt because they got that diagnosis that like their life was not going to be, they couldn't live to the fullest? And
right,
so the fact that you're able to, what I'm saying, to show them that is
right,
a blessing.
right.
That's a
Because
blessing.
so many today have been given that diagnosis, and I think it's
Yes.
kind of actually, it's kind of like being autistic, was for a while, but um,
Hey, Chrissy, that's who it
not
was.
everybody fits that diagnosis square on.
Right.
And a lot of times, and this is from my own personal experience, a lot of times what you're doing may appear as if you're bipolar. But honestly, what you're doing is out because of situations that are in your life, things
Right.
are that are coming out of your mind,
Mm-hmm.
from your childhood or from your whatever, from things that are just happening around you. And I'm not trying to say that um, you blame your childhood, because I've never blamed my childhood. What my childhood did was give me things. They planted seeds in my mind. Some of
Mm-hmm.
them are weeds, so I got to get
Right.
rid of them.
Right, right.
So, and so what I have done through my counseling, um, is get rid of some of those weeds and realize that these are the weeds, and this is the good stuff. So we got
Mm-hmm.
weeds and I got good stuff, and this I'm gonna discount all of this, and this is what I'm gonna grow on.
That's right.
These are the good things. And so that's what the counseling can do for you,
Okay.
is get to the bottom of what you do, because actually coaching looks forward where counseling looks backward. Counseling looks at the
Hmm.
why, and maybe why you react that way, and then the coaching is saying, okay, this is what you did, let's go, what are we going to do now?
Hmm. I like that.
And
Okay.
so
Mm-hmm.
the two things hand in hand. And I have had people, I know you had asked me that, have I had people, I've had people that everybody needs coaching. I just want to say that. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying that because I am a coach,
Right.
but I could have used a coach a long time ago.
I know that's right.
And so
Hmm.
I think that everybody needs a coach. Everybody needs somebody who is going to say, you can do it. You can do it. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter what's going on in your life. You can do it. But not everybody needs a counselor, but there are people that
Right.
do.
Right,
And so,
right.
you need to take a true look at what has happened in people's lives,
Hmm. Okay.
and say, okay, this person does need that piece, but they still need a coach.
That's what I was gonna ask
So,
you too. Like, how do you
so
know when to
right,
say, okay,
because the counselor can't really tell you where to go next. The counselor is just looking at where you are in your psyche more. And they're not really guiding you anywhere except to try to figure out why you feel the way you do, or why you think the way you do, or whatever, and where a coach is saying, okay, you do that, all right, let's go.
right?
And so that, I know I said that twice, but I think it bared repeating. um, because that's what a coach is for, is to say, where are we going with this? What are we going to do now? Because all that's back there,
Mm-hmm.
and this is now.
That's
What's in
right.
front of us? I don't. Have you probably seen that meme that says, don't look in your rear view mirror. That's where you were.
Right, right.
And that's true. That's where you were. This is where we're going. So we need to look this way. We need to look, and you need to have people that are coming alongside of you, who are holding your hand and saying, okay, you can do this. I've been there. I know what it's like. I know what it's like to be at your last thread. Feel like you're gonna kill yourself. I know that. I
Mm-hmm.
tried it. Didn't work. You know what? God said, there's more for you. And so
That's
I'm
right.
still here. And so, I mean, and I know what it's like to be a teen mother. And I know what it's like to feel like
Mm-hmm.
everything is coming down around you. And and that's how I can identify with so many people.
Right.
And
That's
just,
yeah.
and so that's what I've said, and to many people, is that it's my story, but it's His glory. And so
Come on now,
what
Kelly.
that's what I really want to share, is that it is my story, and you have a story too. Anybody that's
Mm-hmm.
listening,
That's
you
right.
have a story, and that is why we started the school. A
Mm-hmm.
friend of mine, um, I know you haven't asked me this yet, but we started the school
That's
because
fine.
we really want a place for people to go, who have a life story. That you
Mm-hmm.
have a story, you have a past, and you want to share it because God wants you to use your story for
That's
other
right.
people, to help the people. That's your Nineveh. Those are your Ninevehs.
Mm-hmm.
You're done being in Tarshish. Tarshish is over.
Right.
You're done being wayward,
That's
and
right.
you're gonna go where God told you to go.
That's
And
right.
so started this school so people could become certified coaches and learn what a coach really is and what a coach really isn't. And we also teach models, like I was talking about, the grow model and the smart model and those things, kind of things. And we teach um, all the different niches there are. I can't even think of all of them off the top of my
That's
head, but
okay.
we have niche treating, but we also we want people to become certified life coaches first, and then go for their niche, because a lot of people want to go for that niche, but they don't have the foundation.
Right.
And so what what life coaching does actually is you go through the program yourself
Mm-hmm.
and you actually work with some things yourself. And we help you work through those things. We
Right.
become your coach and we help you through that process. And then that teaches you how to become a coach to somebody else and help them through the same process. So, anyway,
That was good. So the link, you
well,
are watching. The link is on the screen. bit.ly, GWLCA Life Coach Now. That is the link for the school. It's greater. I think it was a Greater Works.
Greater Works Life Coaching Academy.
Okay, that's the link for the school. If you're interested, Kelly is, and her handle is at the Hope Finder. But yeah, that is awesome, and that's good too. Because I guess you could do the life coaching like you all have it. Do it first, because I would think maybe you would think like you want one niche, and then you get it, and you're like, I wanna switch. So that's good that you all have it set up like that. Do you have a book?
Do I have a book? I do not. I have one in here.
Okay. I'm gonna need you to get that book, Kelly. I'm gonna need you
I
to.
know. I have had so many people just in the last 4 or 5 months tell me you need to write a
Kelly.
book. Yeah, that's what they're
Oh
telling
my
me. So I'm
goodness,
really hearing that. I'm hearing that I need to write a book. Um,
girl.
but that will
Wow.
come.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I do need to write a book. I think a lot of people would identify with it, and there's so many things that um, just I've gone through, and just
Wow.
um, I just want to use my story for His glory, and really that is all that it boils down to, is that being God's vessel and just being
Mm-hmm.
ready
Right.
and being willing and just saying, okay, God, what do you want from me now? You know. So, do you have another question?
Now the
I'm
classes.
getting off
That's what I
track.
was. That's okay.
Oh, okay.
The classes, are they like self? You said they're self paced, or when do classes start?
Um, right now the class is not self-paced.
Okay.
We're working on getting our self-paced set up, but it's not set up yet to do that properly or the
Okay.
way we want to do it. So, um, we have a class. Our next session is coming up. I'm looking at my calendar. Um, it's going to be starting. We're offering 3 times available.
Mm-hmm.
A Sunday night, a Tuesday night, and a Wednesday during the day.
Oh, okay. That's
And
good.
that'll be the
Sunday
12th,
night.
the 12th, the 14th, and the 15th of November
Okay.
is when we're going to start
Wow.
the
Okay.
next class. Um, yeah, so it's like 3 weeks from now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the thing is about it right now is we're kind of doing a Black Friday all month.
Okay.
And
That's cool.
so
Hmm.
we are offering normally $750 for the class,
Mm-hmm.
but we're offering it right now for $450 with just $100 down to get you
Wow.
started and get your materials and things
Mm-hmm.
and get you all set up, and then 35 a week for the 10 weeks. So
Wow.
and yeah, you're gonna save
That's
$300 on the
really
program.
that's really affordable.
Yeah.
That's really affordable. Hey D, and somebody else just came in and I missed you. I'm sorry. How are you?
Sorry.
But oh my goodness. So yeah, so let me recap really quick. Oh my goodness. So this is Kelly Howard. If you're just joining us, hey, how are you? If you are just joining us, oh my goodness, you got to make sure that you can. We're going to be on for like maybe 5 or 10 more minutes. You got to make sure you catch the replay. Kelly shared her story with us, very transparent about things that she's overcome, abuse and date rape and just divorce and suicide attempts, and just the fact that she's still here, number one, is a blessing. Just the fact that she's still here. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate it, D. That's a blessing in itself, and it just encourages people. And if you're watching on Facebook, I hope it's working, because Facebook is doing something very strange. Please share this out, because I really think that there are a lot of people that need to hear your story, because I know there are people. Hello, Renee. How are you? That there are people that are going through things right now, and they're like at the end of their rope, and they're
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm done. I
Yeah.
talked about things that I went through because I went through that. I went through depression off and on for
Okay.
years. I had postpartum depression. Um, I had a suicide attempt back in 20. What's that? I can't even remember. I think it was 2005 or something. So I know what you're talking about because you get to that point in your life where you're like, I'm just hurt and I'm tired. You're like, I'm done. You be like,
Yeah.
Lord, this it for real? Like for real, Jesus, ain't nothing else for me. Like, it was just like I got to that point where I was just like, I am tired of this, and thank God what I tried to do did not work, and I couldn't see it at the time. So if you've been at that point and you've been depressed or suicidal and you tried different things and it didn't work, and I actually got mad the next day when I woke up. I was like, I can't even kill myself. What kind of foolishness? Like, what is? I'm so serious, Kelly. I had added. I was like I don't even want to be here. And so we have
Yeah.
those when you said something when you talked about how people get diagnosed with bipolar and diagnosed with different things, and you said that may not be the case. It's just what you're exhibiting now. Like I remember going through postpartum depression and I was hearing voices. And I remember people talking about, like some people say, well, that doesn't really. I've heard men, excuse me, I've heard some men say, that's not real. I'm like, have you ever had a baby? Like, have you ever been sleep deprived? Have you, your hormones, some people just don't, they don't understand. But, if you've been diagnosed with, mental illness, and she, like I said, she was very transparent. Um, and she talked about even if you're still going through life and you're still figuring everything out, do what you're supposed to do now. I talked about that I think a couple weeks ago where I was saying sometimes we feel like we have to have everything together or we got to have all the pieces, and it's like we waste so much time, and there's so many people that we're supposed to connect with and then we're supposed to help ourselves get better, but we're like, well, I don't have it all together yet. I don't know, like if God tells you do something, it's like, and then he keeps telling you, it's like, you're supposed to
Right.
do this. Even if you don't have, like, I know when people write books and they're like, well, I'm trying to think of the name of the book. I'm like, don't think about the name of the book. Start writing the book. It'll come because I think sometimes we focus on the wrong thing. And I love that Kelly has been transparent. She's been open. She's like, look, I'm still working on me, but I know right now, I have enough to do what I need to do. I'm doing what I'm called to do. I'm able to serve those people that need that life coach that has been where they've been, that knows what it's like to go through different struggles in life, that's not going to look at you. Because I can imagine all the things that you've been through. I bet you don't judge nobody.
Nope.
I bet you don't judge nobody. Hey, Chris, how are you? I know you don't have any judgment. You're like, oh, girl, yeah. This is what you do. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. I know this.
It's not. And I
Mm-hmm.
would like to, if I could, I'd like to
Sure.
encourage anybody out there who has listened to my story
Mm-hmm.
and says, you know what, I really identify with you and I
Mm-hmm.
really would like to talk with you. If you want to go to my, I have a page for my coaching, and it's Kelly, Hope Coach Kelly is the name of my
Oh, Coach
page,
Kelly.
Hope Coach Kelly. And I think my heading thing, it was transformational life coach is what it is. But
See if I can bring it up. Oh,
yeah, if
Coach
you go
Kelly.
to Hope Coach Kelly, it was Facebook / Hope Coach Kelly. But they can message me there on my page and just say, hey, I want to talk to you. And I will
Mm-hmm.
talk to anyone
Come on now.
for a few moments, for half an hour or whatever, just to help you maybe get some clarity
Mm-hmm.
on where you want to go, and what
Mm-hmm.
God has for you. And and just to give you hope, because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people, like you're saying, are at that point where I don't know where I'm going. I don't
Yes.
know what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm even here.
Hmm.
I tried to
Yes,
kill
I-
myself last week or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
so, I just want to tell you that I'm here for you if you would like to reach out to me and talk with me. We'll
Trying
set
to
up
see
a
if I can
time.
bring it up.
And I just want to offer that out there for anybody who would like to do that.
And that's on
Did you find my page?
Facebook.
Did you find my page or no?
You said it's on Facebook.
I can share it. Can you share my screen or no? Because I have it up.
Hold on. I can't because we're in this.
Can't. Okay.
But it's on Facebook though.
Yeah.
Is it part of your profile?
I don't know if it is or not.
Let me see if I can pull it up.
It's facebook.com /
Mm-hmm.
Hope Coach Kelly is the name of there.
Let me see if let me pull it up. Hold on.
And it's not coming up. But anywhere on there, there is a link in the offerings that says a free 30-minute consultation. And if you just click
There
on that,
it is. Hold on.
get
I got it.
yeah, you'll be able to reach me that way, or just message me from there and we can go from there.
So okay, I found it. So it's So
Okay.
it's it is Facebook.com / Hope Coach Kelly, and Kelly with the I. And I
Right.
think it's connected to your personal
I
page
think
as
it is.
well.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
Kelly Howe, and that's Kelly with the I at the end, because that way, I mean, like I said, if you didn't watch the beginning, I
Right.
encourage you to watch and just be like, wow. And if you're feeling sorry for yourself, if you're feeling like, you don't know what to do, she said go ahead and reach out to her, which was awesome, that she will talk to you, because we know how it is sometimes. You get, and sometimes we're talking to the wrong people. We do
I don't
that
want you in
too.
the funk. You're in the funk, if you're in the
Yeah,
funk. Yeah.
been there.
So, I know I've been in the funk. And
Mm-hmm.
one of my biggest things and I remember talking in my first life coaching class that I took, and I said, everybody, you're in that funk, but I
Mm-hmm.
have a way of getting through that stuff, all that nitty gritty, and getting down to what is the problem, because we're looking at all the stuff that's out there, and
Mm-hmm.
really, you need to figure out what is the issue, where are you going? And,
Wow.
because a lot of times we're looking at all the things that are happening around us, the things we have no control of, but there are things
Yes,
that we do control of. There are things we do, and that's what we need to latch on to. And
that's
that's
right.
where we need to latch on to so that we can move forward. And so many
Amen.
times we're latching onto those things we can't control.
Come on.
And
Yeah.
so if you're latched onto the wrong things,
Mm-hmm.
then you can't move forward.
That's right.
And God has a plan for every person who is, if you're saved. I believe there's, and I can't think, the scripture that
Mm-hmm.
says that, oh my gosh, I've lost it. I
That's
totally lost
okay.
it. That, there's a plan for everybody. There's
Mm-hmm.
a plan. God has a plan for you. God has something for you. If you are still on this earth, there is
Come
a
on.
reason. And so you
Yes.
need to tap into that reason,
I say that often.
um,
You're still here.
and so,
It is a
yeah,
reason.
exactly.
You're here.
Right. And I say that as a suicide survivor, because, and that too, then, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm still here,
That's
and I
right.
tried it twice and it didn't work, so
God said, let me.
God must
God
want
probably
me.
said, really? Really, Kelly? I know you probably looked at me and said, really, Jewel, you gonna do that? You gonna take them pills? Really?
I
You really think
know,
you're doing
I know.
something? Like, but
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
we're
exactly.
when you're like desperate, you just doing things. Oh, thank you. Christy said very helpful information. And so reach out to Kelly. She is on Facebook. The link for the school is on the screen. bit.ly/GWLCA Life Coach Now. And especially this time of year, a lot of people are going through, especially depression. The season is changing. The sun,
Yeah,
is not shining. You know how it is. The sun goes down at 5 o'clock. Time is going to go back soon, and then the holidays. I'm telling you, because I used to deal with
I know.
seasonal affect disorder. I used to suffer
Yeah,
from that,
yeah,
and so it's real. And then you have people that deal with the holidays. Somebody's maybe this is their first holiday without that loved one, that special one, or they're like, I don't want to be around my family. Like, you have people that go through that too.
right,
They're like being guilt
right.
tripped into, it's a lot. So Kelly says she's here. If you want to reach out to her, you can. The school for coaching, and if you are interested in, being a life coach, drop Kelly a line or go to the site that is on the screen. Does anybody have any questions or anything? I apologize for Facebook. I think Facebook was doing the most. I know somebody said they got kicked out. Chrissy said, I thank God for how you both are so transparent. Oh, Oh, not alone. I am so glad.
Hey,
Thank you.
that reminded me of the song. She wrote Not Alone, and that's the name of the song is I Am Not Alone. That's the
What's
song I sang.
who sings that?
Carrie Job. Carrie Job.
I don't know who that
If
is. Look, I need to
you
find out who that is.
I know. I know.
How's her first name
I
spelled?
love
How's she
her.
spelled Carrie?
Carrie Kari.
K-A. I'm glad I asked because I wouldn't see I'd had
Yeah.
the
Job
wrong
J-O-B.
name. Okay.
Now, if
I'm going to look it up.
you I have a YouTube channel. If
Oh, you
anybody
do?
wants to go to my YouTube channel, I have some really awesome, I say that myself, I have some really awesome
Awesome.
playlists.
Oh,
So if you
wow.
want to go and listen to the playlists, I have ones for joy, ones for faith, ones
Come on
for
now.
inspiration, ones for, I have all of this. Okay. So
Wow.
if you go to my thing, it's just my name, Kelly Howard.
Okay.
And I have all kinds of playlists, and Carrie Job's on there, so you
Okay.
can go find Carrie Job
I'm
on
going to
there.
find it. I'm going to find it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Hey, Angela.
um,
How are you? Angela came in on Facebook. Hey, Verlin,
oh, she's
how are
still there,
you? Mm-hmm. I think she is. I
Angela.
believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so. Yeah, like I said, I know Facebook was tripping, so
Yeah.
you all just try to catch the replay. If you know somebody that's going through, thank you for that super heart, Carla. I appreciate it. If you know somebody that's going through something that is feeling like they want to give up, if they've been diagnosed, with something like Kelly was talking about, sometimes that it may be temporary what you're going through now, but it may not. And then sometimes when we get diagnosed with certain things, whether it be mental or physical, we think it's permanent. We think it's
Right.
permanent, and that's not always the case. Oh, thank you. I'm glad. She said, Lady Carla said she enjoyed the show. I appreciate it. I'm glad. I'm just happy that, again, Kelly is being very transparent and very open and honest, and that's what we need more of. I think some people, they're afraid to be judged, and I understand it. Hey, Jay, how are you? But I'm telling you, when you're transparent, it helps people. I get people in my inbox that were like, Joel, let me tell you, like what you were talking about, that really helped when you were talking about struggling with depression and different, because a lot of people are
Right.
depressed. A lot of people
Right.
are, suicidal. A lot of people are going through a lot of things. So, yeah. Any
Yeah.
last thoughts or anything, Kelly, before we go?
I remembered the scripture.
Oh, okay.
It's all things work together for good for
That's
those
right.
who love God and are called according to his purpose.
I know that's right.
And that is a scripture I have held on to for a
Come
long,
on.
long time. Um, and just the other thing is that God will give us the peace that passes understanding.
Yes.
That actually is the scripture that brought me to my saving grace when I was 8 years old, is that I knew I
Wow.
needed that peace. I knew I needed peace. And so
Wow.
now my job is to pass that peace on. And I want to pass the peace on to those who need it, and also give that hope that people need as
Mm-hmm.
well. So,
Wow.
but I appreciate you having me on
Oh,
here.
I'm so glad you were on. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm praying that everything works well. That the coaching and that people will reach out, to you if they're feeling like they have nowhere to turn, or if they feel like they're understood. At least they know that what, somebody else has been through something similar. Hey, Nikki. Hey, Sister Giles. How are you? Thank you all for coming in. We are getting ready to go. But if you are, I think most of y'all are my friends on Facebook. I will encourage you to please share this out, because I know that Kelly's story can bless somebody. I know it can bless multiple people. Multiple
Um,
people.
the other thing I would like to say is
Sure.
about the school, and if anybody has any questions about the school as
Mm-hmm.
well, you could feel free to reach out to me, and I'll help you answer any questions. I see Angela's popped on here too.
Mm-hmm.
Angela is the founder and the master coach of the school.
Okay.
So either one of us would be glad to answer any questions that you have about the school and getting started, what it entails and all that business. So
Okay.
I'll throw that out there too.
Okay, and the link is right there, and Kelly's
Yep.
handle is the Hope Finder
Yeah.
on Periscope, and she is on Facebook as well. So hold on with me one moment, Kelly. We are
Okay.
getting ready to go. So thank you all so much for coming in. I appreciate it. And I will see you later. Take care. Thank you so much. I will see you guys later. Bye bye.
Thank you.